Hello all. See the cool card I made today? After I made the video, I did decide to put this stamp on and these little flower stamps. So they're not part of the video, but this is the finished product. And stay tuned to see how I made it. So we're here in the new Design Space 3. It's still in the beta version, as you can tell up here on the screen. I'm starting out with this card base. I'm going to make a thank you card. And I got this card base for being a Patreon supporter of Melody Lane. And she has over 100 files on there that you have access to for just being a supporter. So I'll have a link to her Patreon page in my description below. And I encourage you to check it out and to support her if you can. Because there's a lot of perks to giving to her every month. So her card base came with this here and not the envelope of this. So what I did was I added the words here, which I'll show you how I did, was just start out your text. Well, thanks, and then you go up here to your style for writing. I wanted to write it on there. And it's going to give you only the writing styles now for the different fonts. One of my favorites for writing fonts is the balloon one. I think I had to purchase that one. It's not part of the subscription, but I use it all the time, so it was well worth it to me. And here it is. So then what I done was, first I'm detach that, so I can show you. Then I try to size it down. See, it's behind there because that was the previously attached item, which always brings them to the front. So we just need to bring this to the front. Go up here to range, bring to front. Now it's on top. So I grabbed the wrong thing again. Okay. Then I like for them to be a little bit closer together here. So let's do letter spacing, and this is going to be vertically. There we go. And I'm going to customize the length of it a little bit. So I had to unlock it. Let's stretch it out a little bit. And it needs to be a little bit smaller. Okay, so now before you can even hit go or anything, because it's not going to write on there because we haven't attached it yet. So to attach the new design space, which is pretty cool, you just have to do this and touch them both with the box and it'll select them both. And how you know this is it's grayed over here. See how those are not grayed? So this has all been attached or selected, sorry, which is all grayed here, which is the whole little flag here. And then here's my text. And it's grayed, so it's selected too. And now you need to attach them, which is down here. And now it's all part of that piece. And the machine now, the Cricut will now know to write it on there before it cuts it. So let's undo that because I liked how I'd have my other one. So, got to reattach it though. So that's how you do attaching your writing to an item that you wanted to write on. Now I wanted a piece, because you're going to see in the video here later on how I assemble this card. The purples here are going to be cut with watercolor paper, the 140 pound that I have. So that's why they're a separate color, not the white also, so it won't cut out with this mat. Because colors are grouped together on the mats when they cut, which I'm sure most of you guys know that. So that's why they're purple right now. So, but I wanted another one to go right here, because these tags flip out, so these tags are not in the way right here. So all I done was duplicated, which is right here now. And then I zoomed in a little bit. You need to unlock it so you can manipulate both angles here. And just keep sizing the best you can here. A little too wide still. There we go. And then we're going to move it to the back, not all the way to the back, so we'll go to arrange, make sure it's selected, go to arrange again, and just move backwards, which means it moves one at a time, see? Because I want it to go behind the white, so I don't want to go all the way to the back. So you just got to keep hitting this until it gets back behind that last flag there. So there we go. That's how I did that. And on envelopes, which is very easy to do, and to zoom back out to 100, is you just want to, I was going to delete this one and put a new one in there to show you guys. So go to images, envelope, and then I like this one. I mean, there's many other ones here. Yeah, if you have the monthly subscription to Design Space, you're subscribed to all these. There are still some you got to buy, but very few. Here's one for 99 cents. But so this is my favorite one. So it's down here, as you can see, and hit insert image. Now it's way too small, and the best way to do this is, let's move it back, and I like to first see these dotted lines. These are indicating your score lines. So anything within this box is how big you got to try to make it to be for this to fit this card. Okay, this is your space that you're going to have. So I like to do that and drag it. You're just trying to fit it into those lines. So about like that. But the thing is though too, now it's kind of big on the other side there. So see, you've got your line is way over here and it's way past there. It's just extra that you don't need. So then we're going to unlock this. And let's bring that back like that. Okay. And let's shrink up a little bit more. Alright, let's lock it back. So then you can see here is my line here and here. And so this just fits, this white box fits perfectly within that. Or not perfectly, but fits well. So that's how you size an envelope for your card. So we're going to make this. And I always like to go through all the maps to make sure everything looks good. See how it's going to write on those and cut them out. That's my envelope. And these are going to be the pieces made with watercolor paper that I'm going to blend colors onto. So they all look good. Over here too, it tells you what each map's going to be doing: cutting, scoring, cutting and writing, cutting and scoring, and then cutting. So hit continue. Okay, so we have our map ready to go with our paper, and so we're going to load it. Make sure your dial is set for the proper material that you're cutting, and hit the blinking go button. We already have the stylus in there. I know that's what I was going to need, but your Design Space will tell you what you need to load before you hit go. Okay, so we'll unload the mat now. So we'll take the paper off now. The best way to do this is to flip it over and like peel it back off of it. These smaller pieces you can use either your Cricut spatula, or I like these painter's palette knives because they're really thin and flexible. And for the bigger pieces, you can use this and just twist your wrist, but see, sometimes you can do that, bend it. So the way I like to do for bigger pieces like this is the same method as taking the paper off. Comes off a lot smoother. A lot of you are probably asking, why am I using this purple extra sticky mat? It's because it's been used a lot, so it's not so sticky anymore. These are scraps. The next one now. These are going to be for the smaller flags that's going to have the writing on them. They'll go onto these. So let's load the mat now. For this one, we're going to need the glitter pen that's going to outline the flag. And I always like to make sure it's good and ready. Okay, and now we're going to load it. And now we're going to load it. And press your blinking button. Okay, unload the mat. Go ahead and take your pen out so it doesn't dry out. So, you can see there's some sparkle to it. It shows up in the camera. Put it on the outlines. See there, they didn't come off, so that's easy. This is pretty thick cardstock. I probably should have made the setting a little more. So that's how it will go. Not like that. The next one will be, I'm going to do the smooth side of this watercolor paper. This stuff's pretty thick, so I actually changed my settings to poster board. And now we'll load the mat. Press the go button. So while it's doing that, I actually already had cut out my envelope, so this is what I did. Okay, unload the mat. And we'll take this one off. Okay, so like I said, I want to use the smooth sides. So that's all the pieces there. Okay, this is roughly what it's going to look like. None of these pieces have been glued together, but just want to show you kind of like my idea here. So now we're going to blend our colors on these watercolor papers here and stamp our sentiments onto them. Then we'll assemble the card. Okay, so here are the 3 colors that I'm going to be using. They're all distress ink. This is the peacock feathers, wild honey, and bundled sage. So let's start with this one first. I like using these little pads, ink pads, because it stores the blending pad underneath it quite well. I'm going to probably speed this up to cut down video time here. Okay, before I went any farther on to these other pieces, I need to stamp my birds on here and mask them off. So that's what we're going to be working on next. But I really like how these colors turned out. Kind of looks like the sky, the sun, and then here's the grass. I like it a lot. Okay, so I'm going to be using a couple different stamps, but first we're going to use this little guy here and hello friend. These we'll use them later. So I want to stamp him right up here on top. And in a little while, this is where I'm going to put the hello friend right about here. So that looks good. Okay. Let's pick him up. Oh, I almost forgot. Gotta put this down. Okay, I'm using Spellbinder's Celebrations. It's a hybrid ink. It's both pigment and dye ink. I really like this a lot. So let's ink him up. Don't want to press too hard, but want to make sure it's all on there. And there we go. I kind of like the first time impressions on this. You usually have to do it two or three stamps to get it good, but I really like those lines. Let's clean up our stamp a little bit. Okay, so I had already cut out a masking of him. I already sampled him before this video to make sure everything worked right. I do not have, I don't think they even make a die set for these little bitty ones, little clear ones. So I had to cut this out by hand. So I'm hoping it works again. It did the first time I tried it. It covered everything really well. So let's get this back up here and let's blend. I'll use this as a reference and I'll speed this up. Let's remove our masking here. And there we go. Okay, so the next one we're going to stamp real quick before we blend this background is this bird here. So I already have a mask for him too from previous projects. So I'll put a link in the description below on this masking paper. I really love it. And you can see here we cut off the feet and little curly cues here and here because you don't need to cover them up because they're solid black lines. Okay, so let's remove the masking and see how well it worked. Worked very well. Okay, so I'm sorry, I thought I hit the record button when I was coloring these in, and I had not. So they're already colored in. I'm going to show you how I make it look like they're grounded down a little bit, make a little bit of shadow here. So I'm using a Micron 01 fine point and a Uniball opaque white, and I'll put links in the description below if I find them for this. Okay, so it just gives them a little bit of a shadowing underneath them. There's different methods, I just prefer that one myself. So now we're going to stamp our sentiments onto this before we mount them onto our card base. Need your black foam again because we're going to be using the clear stamps again. Okay. Now we'll pick them up. Okay, so now the card base. We're going to fold it. This one goes back. Like that. This one goes like this. And that should be your base here. I like to use a bone folder just to make sure my creases are good. Okay. So this one goes like this. Okay, now right here on these two you need to put glue, which we'll do that here in a second. And it's best to line these up first. I use my Maymay's Made It art glitter glue. Love this stuff. Because it's got a nice precision tip, which you got to pay for extra, separately, but it's what I think it's a few dollars. Well worth it. Okay. That ink gets everywhere, as you can see. The next thing will be little flags here. The gray ones are the base, and they'll glue directly on back here. So it's best to just apply the glue or tape here, because then you know how much you need to put. If you put it on here, it's going. If you get too much over here, it won't open the card. Okay. Just line them up. And there you have it. If you get a little bit of adhesive back here, just peel it off like that. That's why I like using the ATG gun. Easy to get off. Now we'll apply these. Okay. Now we'll work on this one. So I do feel like there's something missing still a little bit. Someone's still be able to sign my name down here. I want to put something up here. And this is the smallest butterfly I have. It's not really that small, but it's the smallest one I have. So get your acrylic block here. And I'm going to add now glossy accents to the eyes. I really like that. So last thing you want to do, because it does take, they recommend 24 hours before you do anything, since this does have to fold up on his eyes, I want to do this last. So makes the eyes pop. Okay, so there we have it. Please like and subscribe and share my channel, please. And thank you guys again for watching. Have a good day. Bye.